Well, welcome back to the Art of Storytelling. My name is Charles H. Clyburn, and I am the host of this program. And if you've been watching us all along, you will see we've been bringing you people who have stories to tell about programs, about art forms, about a lot of different things, and we'll continue to do that. Today, we have a very special guest who represents the Laurel Branch Library of the Prince George's County system. And his name is Roy Joynes. Mr. Joynes.
Actually, it's Joynes.
It's Joynes.
Yeah, Roy Joynes.
Sorry. Okay.
No problem.
Typographical error.
No problem at all. It's a pleasure being here.
Well, good.
You're a library user. I see you in the library a lot, so it's always good.
Yes, I'm a user and believer of the library system.
Absolutely.
So tell our audience about how long have you worked for the let me get this right, Prince George's County Memorial Library System.
Absolutely, you got it correct.
Okay.
I started in 1980.
Okay.
So over 30 years.
Okay.
And I've been a branch manager more than 25 years of the 30. Yeah.
Okay.
I was born in Baltimore. I went to Baltimore City College, and that's a high school when it was all boys. I graduated there, and I went to Morgan State University 1973 to 1977. I have a BS degree in business administration. So I always wanted to use my business background.
Yes.
And while working at Morgan, while going to school at Morgan, I worked at the Enid Pratt Free Library part-time. I was a clerical aide and a page. So I guess I always had that library interest there, but it was so funny, I couldn't wait to graduate because I was saying, look at all these old people that work around the library, the books make you look older. So I think, I thought, ooh, the library, but never say never because, again, I graduated. My first job was with Montgomery Wards. I was a year and a half managing a catalog unit in Wheeling, West Virginia. And it was nice, but I wanted to get back to the city, and I know I had to send my resume around because if I came back home to Baltimore without a job, my father would have said, you quit a job and don't have a job. So Baltimore County Public Library System first picked up on it. I started out as a library associate. But then I said, well, Roy, if you're going to do this, you might as well go back and get a master's and make as much money as you can. And it's a good field for a male because the profession is dominated by women. Yes. So if you're good, you can get to the top. Okay. So it was a position in Prince George's County. I started out as a young adult librarian associate. And the University of Maryland was in Prince George's County. So I could work and go to school. And I was very fortunate that the library system paid more than 80% of my tuition for me to go get my master's. Right. And I went to school on their time as well. So it worked out great for me.
Okay.
And I graduated and just started moving up the ladder.
So you have a master's degree in business administration.
I have a BS degree in business administration. My master's degree is in library science.
I see. Okay.
And University of Maryland and Catholic U offer the master's in library science. They're two really good library schools, and it's on the East Coast. There's other schools, but we're fortunate to have two close in the vicinity.
I don't quite understand what library services really mean. Can you tell us?
Yes, more? And I can tell you what we do at our library. We have all kinds. If you need to use a computer,
yes,
we have them, and it's free.
Yes.
If you like to bring your kids to story time,
yes,
it's free. Now, hear these stories that you're talking about, and we have great storytellers in the library system. When I started out, I used to do story time when I was at the Bladensburg Library, and I always told the story about Sammy, the little song. So when we do story time, we have books and materials that you can use and borrow from the library. Magazines. We now have DVDs that you can borrow from the library, and it's free. And when I go out and do my book talks and my class visits, I tell the kids, let your parents know that if Blockbusters gets it Monday, the library will have it Tuesday. And pretty much that's the case. The only difference is that you have to pay for it at Blockbusters, and the library gives you this DVD that you can borrow free. Books, magazines, stories, programs, the internet. And now, downloading with the Nooks and the Kindles, you can actually use our which is our electronic library, and download books, materials, and music. If you have a Nook or if you have a Kindle, You can now come to the library and download your materials, and you can do it from home. You can, if you have a computer at home, you can look up, get into our system and use our catalog and see what books, etc., that you have. The library, we have meeting rooms and conference rooms, and they're used heavily. So if you have a program that you like to have at the library, now there might be a fee, but you can use the library because people sometimes need spaces to meet. Yesterday, I had a home association that meets in our library. You know, we have meeting rooms and conference rooms available too, and that's pretty much in all of the 19 libraries that we have. So a lot of services, a lot of information, and that's why I like my job so much, that I can learn something new every day. You can call me on the telephone and I'll try to answer your question, or you can come in and we'll try to get the answer. And I always tell my students when I'm talking to them that knowledge is power, and you can't take that away from any of you. So that's one of the reasons why I like my job so much. I can learn something new at work every day.
Yes.
So those are some of the things that we do.
I once heard somebody say that one of the closest things to heaven on earth is liking your job.
Absolutely, and after 30 years,
yes,
I still like it.
I
used to love it. I still like it, Pop, but it's still good.
I still hear the enthusiasm for learning, and I'm sure that's very important.
Absolutely.
And to pass that on to young people.
Absolutely.
And
it's giving back. I've been involved with Boys Read, and I do it with Oakland's elementary school right here in Laurel.
Yes.
And it's just to show that boys do read. You know, it's not to improve, but I go to them once a month, actually twice in a month, and we just talk about books. And we read books, and they get to keep the books. And when they come to the library, we just high five each other because we're part of Boys Read. And it's the whole idea that boys do read.
Yes.
I have a group of third through sixth graders. Like I said, we meet for about a half an hour, and we just talk about books. This was a grant that the library got, so we were able to supply backpacks and, you know, little doodads just to show about and to talk about Boys Read. But the whole idea was, and we would just read a book. Everybody would go around and read a little passage and talk about how they liked it or disliked it.
Right.
And again, it was just to show that boys read. I wasn't trying to improve their reading level, but if that book, you know, became other, so be it.
Sure.
But it was just the idea that reading can be fun and that boys read. And that's been quite successful. And that's been something I really liked and, was able to give back.
Yes. Well, it's certainly helpful as a role model.
Yes.
That you come in with not only the educational part, master's degree in library sciences, but also the passion and the commitment to passing that knowledge on, and to say, again, education is important,
Exactly.
and reading is certainly a part of that.
I totally agree. And I think because you always see a woman or a lady in libraries, the idea that's coming from a brother or a guy, I think even has just as much, if not as a more important impact.
Certainly.
In today's society.
Certainly.
So I enjoy it.
And that leads me to a question. Why do you think the dominant sex in the library system is female?
Because that was a profession that they probably started, in the beginning, and it was accepted. And I think now, though, men can be teachers and instructors too. If you think about it, probably teachers, there are probably more women teachers than there are males.
I'm sure.
And but because you have boys in the class, we can break that number up and make it equal. Girls can see women and boys can see men doing, good things in good professions and become role models. But I think in the beginning, that's just the way it was.
Does it have something to do with being manly?
Well, when you talk to a lot of the teens, and we've done promotional videos just to get the teens involved. One guy did say, "Oh, it's too quiet in the library," and I was the same way. Starting out, I said, "Oh, I don't look at the old people in the library." So I think it's just a stereotype: the little old lady with the bun on her hair and all of those kind of things.
Yes.
So, but it's totally now because there's so many ways you can go into information science. With the internet now, we have information specialists. Regular schools, they have school librarians. Mm-hmm. You could be a librarian in a college. Yes. You could be a special librarian in a law firm or a business. You can be information gatherer, so the whole profession has changed, and it's not just inside the building. You can be an information specialist. So the whole profession, and with the internet being what it is, you can get on it and you can help lead. You can come to me and I can show you a good website to be on. You might know all of the web, but I can try to pick the best ones for you to be. So it's changing, and it's getting everyone involved.
Oh, yes. Certainly it's the informational highway.
Exactly.
Right.
And you need somebody to help guide it, and that's where I come in.
Yes. Well, and you're right. I can recall being in the library and the little old lady with the bun in the back of her head.
So that's a
saying,
stereotype.
Always.
So I think that might have, I don't want to, but
Yes.
it's nothing like that before. I would even now suggest the libraries aren't as quiet as they should be because there's a lot of noise in the library.
Yes, I've seen it.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, and so you've worked for Prince George's for how long did you say? 30 years?
I started in 1980.
Okay, and so you came to Laurel from Bladensburg?
Well, I've been a branch manager at the Bladensburg Library, the Fairmont Heights Library, Largo Kettering, Oxon Hill, and then Bladensburg. And we're getting a new library. Hopefully groundbreaking will be sometime next year in Laurel.
Okay.
And I do have some experience in, opening, libraries, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully groundbreaking will be next year this time. Right. And Laurel's a busy library. Per square foot, we're the busiest branch in the county. And it's time that we have a bigger one. We'll have tutor rooms for students and people can use, one-on-one, two-on-one tutoring. It's going to be lots of computers, lots of programming. It's going to be fun. It's going to be nice. Everything's going to be brand new.
Is that new building going to be built on the same site?
And the same site as the library.
Okay.
What they'll do is knock us down where we are now, 507 7th Street, put us in a temporary location while they build the new library right there. And there's a park there, Emancipation Park, and we're going to try to, enclose and encompass the park into the library building. Because can you imagine light, being able to use the internet if you're in the park, with envisioning an amphitheater that you can do a lot of programming, and then you have your library being the hub of all of that. So it's going to be like a library with the parks right in the park.
Wow.
So it can only enhance the park, and it's going to get more people to come use the library, we're hoping.
Emancipation Park, is that part of the property of the library?
I don't know if the library owns it, but the park has always been there, and
Yes.
it's kind of historical. So we didn't want to change too much of the park, but we wanted to include the park in this building.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that, we have to move the basketball court down a little bit, but we're hoping to put up, like I say, have an amphitheater. We're hoping to have lights, so if you're out in the park and you want to use our free Wi-Fi, you can do that. But we are going to include the park in the project as well.
And just in case, I'm glad you mentioned it. I thought we'd do it a little later, but glad you brought it out. Just in case people do not know where the Laurel Library is
and that's
located.
what you get all the time, and we've been there forever, but a lot of people, new signage would be a big improvement, but we're located 507 7th Street.
Yes.
And our phone number is 301-776-6790.
And you don't have to rush to get a pen. We're going to put that up on the screen for you.
Fantastic.
So you'll know
And like I said, you can call me up. I'll try to answer your question, or you can come in. We're open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 10 to 9.
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, 10 to 6. And Saturday, 10 to 5.
All right. Was there at any time that the library was open on Sundays?
When the budget was good, we were open on Sundays. We had several branches open on Sunday.
The budget.
And it's always getting leaner.
Yes.
So right now we don't have any branches open on Sunday, but I'm hoping that will come back too, because sometimes people can't get to the library but on Sunday.
Yes.
So we used to be like a 1 to 5, and we used to have like 3 or 4 branches open on Sunday. Laurel was one of those branches because, again, per square foot, we're the busiest branch in the county.
Wow.
So hopefully, if the budget can, get better, we'll get some more libraries open again on Sunday.
So, not being open on Sunday is, and being the busiest library, does that really mean that? Is that due to the population growth in Laurel, or is that that people are just more interested in seeking the information, finding books, renting videos,
I think it's
dropping
all
their
of
kids
that.
to story
To be honest,
time?
I think it hits on all of that.
Okay.
Because you can come get a video from us now.
Yes.
Story time is there.
Yes.
If you want to learn knitting, if you want to learn how to play chess, we can come to the library and do it.
Oh, okay.
We have some programs coming up, a holiday for Esther, December the 15th, and we're using the Spanish Club at Laurel High School. They're going to be doing some arts and crafts and dancing.
Okay.
We do try to involve the whole community, and we've partnership with a lot of places in the community. We have a partnership with the Laurel Museum.
Yes.
We've worked with Montpelier. We do a summer reading program. So I think all of those things, and the fact that libraries are free and information is important. And if you don't have a computer at home, you can come to the library and use one. I think we do equal. Some people don't have computers, so we do try to make things equal. And
Sure.
you can come to the library. So I think it's all those reasons why libraries are still busy, still popular, why Laurel per square foot is still the busiest. And then if you don't have money to buy the book, because I never buy books, I borrow them from the library
Right.
because it's free.
Sure.
I can borrow it, I can bring it back, I can pick something else up. All you need is a library card, and library cards are free. So if you bring your books back on time, the library can always be a free place for you to visit.
And what happens if you don't get them back on time?
If there's a fine, I think it's 15 cents on
Right.
adult material, 5 cents on kids.
Yes.
A lot of people need copiers. You can come to the library and copy. The question that we get all the time is a fax machine.
Okay.
And now all the new libraries being renovated, or the new branches, will have fax machines in them. We just built a new branch in South Bowie, and that is state of the arts. It has everything. So
right.
when they renovate or knock down the Laurel branch, we'll have a fax center and all the things, because every year the branch that's the one being renovated gets more high tech.
Oh, sure.
You can download, if you go to South Bowie or Hillcrest Heights, which was recently renovated, you could actually take your iPod or your Nook right there and download the material that you're trying to borrow from the library. And again, all of it's free. Everything is free. Some people don't want to take 8 books to the beach.
Right.
They'd rather download it. And
Yes.
we help you do that.
Wow. Well, it certainly sounds like it's has a number of services available.
Absolutely.
I understand that you have something coming up next year. You talked about the holiday fiesta.
Right, we have
That's
several
15th.
programs coming up. Yeah, that's December the 15th,
Right.
and it's free. But
Right.
starting in January, we're actually going to have a book sale. We had one last year that was very successful. The Friends of the Laurel Branch. We're fortunate to have the best friends group to me in the county, but a lot of libraries do have good friends group. But anytime they support our library programs, anytime we don't have money to do something with, I can ask my friends group. And we're having a book sale, and we're doing it around President's Day. I believe it's the 14th and the 15th. But come to the library on those dates, because we have a current that lists all the programs in the county. Or you can look up what programs are happening at the library on the computer. But we've got a book sale, a 2-day book sale in February. The Friends Group does a great decisions discussion, global economy issues every week. We have a book discussion every week. We just did last week, and I led the book discussion. Actually, it was last Tuesday. We did Steve Harvey's book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man.
Yes.
And it was a great discussion. I showed bits of the film. People talked about how when they were dating and compared to now, and just when should teens read this book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. So a lot of back and forth discussion, very good. We got some new members to come to the book discussion, and that was nice. As I said earlier, we got knitting. If you want to know how to play chess, every Saturday we have chess going on at 1 o'clock. Twice a month we do knitting programs. We have a teen advisory board where once a month the teens meet to tell us what type of materials and programs that they want. And they do get CEUs for coming to the meetings.
Okay.
So it's something at the library for everybody.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Certainly sounds like it.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm new in town, for instance. I'm looking for some information on vacations, or I'm looking for something to help my son with his book report at school. And I don't have a computer, so how can I access the library system? You said nothing about a card. How do I get one of those?
Right, and all you need is something with your current address to get a library card.
Okay.
That opens you up to everything. Get you a
Okay.
library card. You can get your child a library card, and you'll be able to access all our materials. A lot of the databases you can do from home if you have a computer, or you can come to the library and use ours.
Okay.
With that library card, you can borrow materials, you can borrow videos, you can borrow books, magazines. You are able to download materials if you have an iPod or a Nook or a Kindle or a Kindle Fire. That library card opens up everything, and it's free.
So do I have to have my birth certificate or?
In some
mother has
cases,
to
if
come
you
with
don't
me?
have, now if you're under 18, you do need to bring your parent, but your driver's license, just whatever is an ID with your name and address on it, we'll take it. Because I know a lot of people in the military, because Fort Meade's here, your military ID, if you were at Fort Meade, I think gets you a library card.
Okay.
Let's say if you just moved, and you don't have any, your license says this, but you just moved, your rental agreement. So anything with your current address that shows your name and where you currently live gets you a library card. And in terms of your kids, bring them with you, and you can get them a card as well too.
So if I live in Laurel, but I work in Fort Washington,
Good question.
and sometimes, I'm closer to the Fort Washington Library than I am to the one at home.
Right.
So can I go in there and use that one?
Absolutely. You can borrow material from anywhere in Prince George's County and return it there as well. A lot of people, it's easier for them to drop a book off in New Carrollton, although they might have borrowed it from Laurel. But your library card is good in all the 19 libraries that we have.
Okay.
And we have a reciprocal with other libraries in the state of Maryland, because Laurel, Howard County is nearby, Anne Arundel County is nearby, Maryland City is right up the street. We have a reciprocal that if you have an Anne Arundel card, you can put your number in our system and you're able to borrow. Just like if you live in Howard County, and if the library cards are reciprocal, we can use your library card number in Howard County and use it in PG. That way you don't have to carry around 2 library cards. So we have that relationship with some of the other county libraries
What
in
about
Maryland.
other cities, Baltimore, Washington D.C.?
Right. Again, if you have their library card, and if it's compatible,
Yes.
and if not, long as you have some ID, you can get a library card. You don't necessarily have to be a resident of Maryland to get a library card, but I know it is free if you're a resident of the state of Maryland.
And I don't have to be a resident of Laurel to use the Laurel Branch Library.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So I rent. I come in and you said you have DVDs.
Right.
So I come in and I rent a DVD, and it's due in. How long can I have it?
You can keep our entertainment DVD out for a week. The educational DVDs you can keep out for 3 weeks.
I see. Okay. So there are different time frames in terms of the educational materials?
Right, you can keep that longer. The entertainment ones would be the more popular ones, so we
Yes.
want as many people to use it as possible, so we
Yes.
give you 1 week on that. But the educational ones, we do let you check them out for 3 weeks, and you can renew them again, the educational ones.
Okay.
But the entertainment ones, being that there's a high turnover,
Sure.
we try to get them back for other people to use. Again, all free. Bring them back on time. Library can be a free place for you.
Certainly sounds like that.
Absolutely.
You mentioned something about the Friends group. Can you talk a little bit more
Right,
about
and they've
who
been
they are?
established. You try to get people in the community who care about the library. My Friends group has done so much. They do a kiss and tell in February in relationship to Valentine's Day. They get postcards that they ask customers to write why they like their library so much or why they love their library. And then they get these postcards to go to the politicians in Maryland. So when voting time on bonds come up, the politicians can see stacks of postcards with customers saying how much they love the library. And we hope that influences them to vote to always keep money for the libraries. So we use the Friends as advocates in supporting the library. When they need to go to Annapolis to say, keep the libraries open and give us more money, that's where your Friends group come in. my friends group also, they're selling license plates that says "We love the library" that you can put behind. So they're fundraisers, like the book sale that the Laurel Branch will be having in February is supported by the Friends. So, like I say, you need a friend. I have a great friends group, and they just support programs. Like I say, if we get a meet the author in, and we need money to pay the author, we'll get that from the Friends, and they've sponsored many programs like that.
Are they a board of directors, or are they strictly advisory?
We have a president. They do have a president, and we have about a dozen members on book that actually come to the meeting. But we have about, anywhere from 100 to 200 dues-paying members. So, and they meet the second Wednesday of every month. And like I say, if I don't have a budget, my friends get me the money for programs that we try to do. When we're working with the teens, we like to do a lot of craft programs. So if I need materials to buy, I come to the Friends. When we meet and we need snacks, I have a budget that the Friends give me that I can buy snacks, pizzas, et cetera, for us to have a party with, et cetera.
So how does one
become a friend?
Become a friend.
Fill out an application. Come to the library and say you want to be a friend. Give me your name and number, and I'll get you in contact with the right people. We love to have new people join the Friends.
Do I have to have a library card?
And you don't have to have a library card to be a friend. But once you become a friend, you're going to want a library card so you can borrow the materials.
Sure.
Yes,
sure.
Indeed.
So they're recruited, or people just know about it?
Right, or you can come in. If there is an application at the library sometimes, and then if you don't see one, just always ask, is there a library application to become a friend?
Okay.
They're hoping to start a membership drive again where they'll be right in the lobby as you come in the door.
Yes.
Asking you, want to be a friend? Yes, indeed.
Okay.
You pay dues. It's a small amount, but the money does help.
Support group for the branch.
Absolutely. That's just what it is.
Well, that's
every library should have one, and most of our branches do.
Where, again, just so we're reminded, where's the Laurel Branch Library?
507 7th Street.
Okay.
Monday through Wednesday, 10 to 9, Thursday, Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 5.
Is that on a corner?
Yes, right on the corner of, I believe that's 198.
Okay, 198 going north.
Yeah, on 7th and 7th,
yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Oh, I'm going west, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes, okay.
Absolutely.
And big sign. Now, I've come to the library a lot, and I use it for various purposes. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that I found is that sometimes I come and what I'm looking for cannot be found there. You can't keep everything.
Right.
And so, how can I access that? Do you send me to Oxon Hill? Do I have to go to Bowie?
And we can get the material for you. So if it's not on my shelf, but if it's on another shelf at the library, I can get the book for you and have it for you in 2 to 3 days. Let's say if nobody in the county owns it, we can use something called Marina. And let's say maybe Baltimore City might have the material you want, or Howard County. I can get it for you from them. All you need is that library
Free
card.
of charge.
Free of charge.
My goodness.
Absolutely.
I like that price.
Absolutely. It's a good price.
It's a good price.
We have a lot of people coming doing genealogy.
Yes.
So you can get on the computer and do that. So we have a lot of resources.
Okay.
And come on to the library so I can show you how to use them.
Okay. And it's at where?
507 7th Street.
In Laurel, Maryland.
In Laurel, Maryland.
All right. Well, you certainly have a lot of services there, and certainly an opportunity for people to find what they're looking for, and that it's a great place to have a meeting, as you said. But all I got to do is have a card.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Free place. A fun place for the whole family.
Okay.
Yes,
all
indeed.
Right. Well, sir, we're certainly glad you were here today.
Thank you so much. Invite me back anytime. We're always doing new and exciting things.
Yes.
2013 is coming up, like I said, the Great Decisions, the knitting, the chess program. Come be a tab member. We'll be doing something for Women's History Month, the Teen Advisory Board, that's TAB, where
right.
we try to enroll teens because they're going to be adults one day and we want to see what they want in the library.
Surely.
And you get CEUs for being a TAB member. But we used to do a Martin Luther King program. February, Black History Month. March is Women's History Month. April is Library Week. We do Teen Tech Week. We do so much at the library. It's free, so come on in and see what you want to do.
And get your library card.
Absolutely. Yes,
Well,
indeed.
We've certainly enjoyed talking to you,
Thank
Roy.
you.
It's been
Absolutely.
a pleasure, and I hope that people who are listening and watching this program will understand what kind of resources there are throughout the Prince George's County Memorial Library System. Well, let me ask you something. Why is it the Memorial Library System?
I think that was just the name that's from the very beginning. You know, like I know some libraries have names on them where the family might donate the land, so
Right.
maybe in memorial to that. And I
Yes.
think maybe that's where it comes from. And I'm not sure of that, but it's nothing specific other than that the system has been the Prince George's County Memorial Library System forever.
I see.
So,
And the Laurel Library is one of those that's named after someone,
right, I think some guy named Stanley
Okay,
donated the land.
All right.
But come on to the library and I can get you some more information on it.
okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So it's maybe an old-time resident
Absolutely. And I
of
think that's
Laurel.
maybe where Memorial has,
Right.
come in with Prince George's County.
Well, generally, when people donate something of that nature, particularly a space, and it might have designated it to be a
Right.
library.
Exactly.
So, along with that comes the preservation of their legacy.
Absolutely.
By naming it that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I guess if you stay around long enough, they might name one after
How
you.
about that?
30 years
Absolutely.
might not qualify.
Absolutely, but a little bit
certainly
longer.
Stay a little longer.
Absolutely.
We may see your name on a building one day.
Sounds good.
So we have the name and number, you have the address, and now you can go in and say, I know the manager.
Absolutely. Love to see you.
And so if you're looking for information, if you're looking for movies, if you're looking for just all kinds of things, as a matter of fact, if you're not sure where to get it, you might go to the library, and if they don't have it, they can certainly get it for you, and or find other place where you can pick it up. So it's a wealth of information. It's a place that you can learn and read, which are very important things. So I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
For coming today, and I hope that the audience has learned something about the Laurel Branch Library and will continue, if you haven't been, to support it in any way you can by being a friend or a TAB member or just supporting it by using it. I think that's most important. So again, it's the art of storytelling, and you've heard a story today about the Laurel Branch Library. And until next time, keep on reading.
Thank you so much. I love that. I think that's going to
Thank
show
you.
good.